Welcome to the Movie Rewind. Today I am going to explain the Bollywood movie Badlapur released in 2015. The movie begins with two friends, Layak and Harman arriving on a motorbike at a bank in MG Road, Pune. Both Layak and Harman enter the bank and then pull down the bank shutter. Misha and her son Robin were buying vegetable in front of the bank. After purchasing vegetables, they crossed the road to enter their car. Soon Layak and Harman came out of the bank with a huge bag full of money. Feared to be caught, Layak and Harman forcefully ran into a car where Misha and her son Robin were present. Layak was seated in the driver's seat and drive while Harman was seated with Misha in the back seat and Robin in the front seat next to Layak. Soon they were chased by a police vehicle. Misha was continuously resisting and shouted for help. Out of fear and confusion, Layak ordered Harman to throw the child out of the car, and Layak shot Misha. Instead of both being caught, Layak advises Harman to jump out of the car with the money and plans to share the money later. Harman escaped but Layak was caught by the police. The police inform Raghu, husband, and father of Misha and Robin, about the incident through phone while he was in his office. Soon, Raghu arrives at the hospital and later finds that Misha was breathing her last breath. Misha succumbs to death. Again Raghu searches for his son Robin, but he found out that his son is also no more. In the next scene, Raghu is being consoled by his parents who suggest he move with them to Delhi. But Raghu, frustrated with the police's investigation, Raghu meets a private detective Mrs. Joshi and hires her to find Layak's crime partner. Layak's mother Zeenat visits her son in prison to talk about the deaths of Raghu's wife and son. While leaving the jail, private investigator Joshi tries to speak with Zeenat and learns about Layak's lover and sex worker Jhimli. Raghu meets and interrogates her and offers all the insurance money he received for his son's death in exchange for telling him Layak's partner's name, but Jhimli refuses. As a result, an enraged Raghu forces her to dance for him and eventually sexually assaults her. Layak received a 20-year prison term from the court because he was the sole criminal apprehended. The cops then accompany Layak to the prisoner transport vehicle. Raghu left Pune on a train after failing to identify Layak's crime partner. Then he finally steps down at Badlapur station. Raghu, who is sad and depressed, attempts to end his life by jumping in front of a moving truck, but fails. The truck driver came down and thrashed him for his behavior. Meanwhile, in jail, Layak tries to escape several times but is always apprehended. Layak becomes terminally ill 15 years later and wishes to spend the rest of his life with his mother. Raghu is approached by a social worker, Shaba, who runs an NGO, Prayas, that works to rehabilitate jail inmates and asks him to release him on medical grounds if he gives him a pardon later, but he declines. Shaba then asks Raghu to meet with Layak and make a decision. Raghu decided to meet Layak, who then asked Raghu to forgive him and reduce his sentence to 15 years. Raghu would agree to Layak on the condition that he reveal the identity of his partner. Layak still refused to reveal his partner. So Raghu left without accepting the Layak request. Raghu has angered Layak. She pleaded with Raghu not to let her son die in prison. Raghu then requested her inside the house for more information. Layak is granted parole but is secretly followed by a cop in order to be led to Harman, his partner. In the next scene Harman can be seen driving his high-end vehicle toward his hotel. He owns a hotel and restaurant. Harman take the elevator to the third floor. Raghu arrived at the same elevator as he was ascending to the third floor and observed his regular activities. The next scene shows Kanchan, the wife of Harman, driving a car at night and experiencing flat tires. She contacted her husband because she was worried, but he did not answer to her call. Raghu asks her if she needs any assistance in the meantime. Then Raghu offered to drive her to her residence, claiming that the area was not suitable for ladies. After a brief talk about their families while they were traveling, Raghu pulled out his wallet and handed Kanchan a picture of his wife and son. She stoops in front of her house and extends an invitation to Raghu and his family for coffee at their restaurant. She then entered her home, and her husband unlocked the door and had a brief conversation. The following day, Raghu went to the Harman and Kanchan restaurant. Kanchan was shocked to see him and introduced him to her husband. She also told her husband that Raghu had dropped her off at their residence the previous evening. Then Kanchan inquired about his kid and wife. They were shocked when Raghu informed them that his wife and son were dead 15 years back in a bank robbery and the murderer is still at large. Raghu then expressed his extreme hunger and inquired about their restaurant's specialties. Kanchan set out to bring something for Raghu. Meanwhile, Harman begged Raghu to keep the previous event private and that his wife was unaware of it. The following day, Raghu set up a lunch program at Harman's residence. Kanchan apologizes to Raghu and explains that she only learned every detail about the past from his husband the previous night. While acknowledging his role in the crime, Harman insists that he did not kill Misha or Robin. Harman began dealing with Raghu, offering him a large sum of money and even offering Leah's share. Kanchan starts pleading with him to spare them, but Raghu asks that she sleep with him in return. Raghu and Harman fight, and once again Harman is defeated. Kanchan pleaded that she is willing to sleep with Raghu on the condition that they be set free, but Harman ordered her to escape, which she refused and asked him to come to the bedroom. Raghu goes to the bedroom to exact revenge by ordering Kanchan to undress and scream in order to make Harman believe they're having sex. In the following scene, Leah is released from jail and returns home to meet his mother. However, he is being closely followed by police in civilian attire. Then he discovers Chimli's location, eventually finding her house, and the two have a lengthy conversation. Leah requests money from Chimli and promises to repay it with interest. Chimli handed over some money, and then he left Chimli's house. Harman receives a phone call from Layak, who requests his passport and the money from the bank robbery 15 years ago. Harman informs Layak that he requires his photo for passport. When Layak asks where they should meet again, he suggests they meet at their house. Then Layak requests that he introduce him to her wife. Kanchan then informs Layak that they will meet again someday. Raghu, on the other hand, arrives first at their residence and murders Kanchan and Harman with a hammer. He then goes to see Shobha and pretends to be in love with her, giving himself the perfect alibi. Layak grows suspicious when the police start investigating Harman's disappearance along with his wife. He is told by his mother Zinat that she gave Harman's name to Raghu in exchange for Layak's own freedom. In the next scene, Shobha arrives at Raghu's office and is furious to learn that Raghu told the cops they had sex. He then responded that he had to answer police questions while being interrogated. Shobha feels cheated because she was used in committing a crime. When Raghu arrives at his house, he finds the door opened by breaking the door lock, and as he moves inside, he notices that all of his belongings are shattered all over the place. When he enters the room, Layak attacks him from behind with a rope around his neck and then asks about the money. Raghu then knocked Layak unconscious before splashing water in Leah's face. As Layak awoke, he drank the water from the jug and asked Raghu for money. Raghu explains his entire strategy before Layak reveals himself as the one who murdered Raghu's family in a panic, as opposed to Raghu, who, according to Layak, planned his murders with a clear mind and without guilt. Layak advised Raghu to seek medical attention because he could not possibly have killed an innocent couple with a hammer. And Layak goes on to ask him what the difference is between them. He then goes to see Chimli, who is now the second wife of a local businessman, Patil, one last time and informs her that he is dying of cancer. Due to his illness, he had to be released early from prison before completing 20 years. Govind tries to blackmail Raghu into giving him Layak's share of the money based on circumstantial evidence. Layak, on the other hand, walks into the police station and accepts responsibility for Raghu's crimes, giving him a second chance to live his life and redeeming himself. After 7 months, when Layak succumbs to cancer in jail, Chimli meets Raghu and convinces him of the futility of his revenge. She then drives away with Patil in a car, leaving him standing in the rain. Thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell. Please do not hesitate to make any suggestions.